Solve 5 over x plus 5 is less than 4x over x plus 5. So for this type of problems, we want 0 on one side, the rest to the other side. So let's minus this fraction over. And we have 5 over x plus 5 minus 4x over x plus 5 is less than 0. Subtraction, so we need common denominator, which we already have here, x plus 5. So the top we have 5 minus 4x is less than 0. Set the numerator equal to 0 and solve, and set the denominator not equal to 0 and solve. So here we can add the 4x over, and we have 5 is equal to 4x. Divide out the 4. So x is 5 over 4. The second equation minus the 5 over. So x cannot equal to negative 5. So on our number line, we have two numbers, negative 5 and 5 over 4. Since here we want strictly less than 0, so we have open circle for both numbers. Let's test points. Let's pick a number that is bigger than 5 over 4. So let's pick 2. So we have 5 minus 4 times 2 over 2 plus 5, which is negative 3 over 7. So we have a negative interval. Pick a number that is between negative 5 and 5 over 4. So let's pick 0. So we have 5 minus 4 times 0 over 0 plus 5. So this is 1. So we have a positive interval. Let's pick a number that is less than negative 5. So let's pick negative 6. And we have 5 minus 4 times negative 6 over negative 6 plus 5. So this is negative 29. So we have a negative interval. Here, we want it to be strictly less than 0. So that means we want the negative interval. We don't want the positive interval. So our answer here is from negative infinity to negative 5, not including negative 5, union parenthesis 5 over 4 to infinity. Solve x minus 1 over x minus 4 is greater than or equal to x over x plus 1. So again, we want 0 on one side, the rest to the other side. So this fraction here, let's minus it over. And we have x minus 1 over x minus 4 minus x over x plus 1 is greater than or equal to 0. We need common denominator. So the common denominator is the combination of different groups on the bottom. So we have the group x minus 4 and we have the group x plus 1. So for the first fraction here, we are missing x plus 1 on the denominator. So we need to multiply the top with x plus 1. So x minus 1 times x plus 1 minus. And then on the second fraction here, the denominator is missing x minus 4. So we need to multiply the top with x minus 4. It's greater than or equal to 0. Let's simplify this. X times x, so that is x squared. X times 1 is x. Negative 1 times x, so we have negative x. Negative 1 times 1 is negative 1. And then multiply the negative x in. Negative x times x is negative x squared. Negative x times negative 4 is a positive 4x over x minus 4 times x plus 1 is greater than or equal to 0. So here x squared cancel out. The x cancel out. So we have negative 1 plus 4x over x minus 4 times x plus 1 is greater than or equal to 0. So we need to set the numerator equal to 0 and solve. Set the denominator not equal to 0 and solve. So here we can add 1 over, and we have 4x is equal to 1. Divide the 4 over, so x is 1/4. The second equation, we need to set each group not equal to 0 and solve. So x minus 4 is not equal to 0. Add 4 over, so x is not equal to 4. And then we have x plus 1 is not equal to 0, minus 1 over, so x cannot equal to negative 1. So we have three numbers, negative 1, 1/4, and 4. Here, our inequality, we have greater than or equal to. That means that at 1/4 is going to be a closed dot, and at 4 and negative 1 is going to be an open dot, open circle. So we have at 1/4 is going to be a closed dot, and at 4 and at negative 1 we have open circle. Let's test point. We need a number that's bigger than 4. So let's pick 5. And we have negative 1 plus 4 times 5 over 5 minus 4 times 5 plus 1, which is 19 over 6. So this is a positive interval. Pick a number that is between 1/4 and 4. So let's pick 3. So we have negative 1 plus 4 times 3 over 3 minus 4 times 3 plus 1. So this is negative 11 over 4. So we have a negative interval. Let's pick a number that is between -1 and 1/4. So let's pick 0. And we have -1 plus 4 times 0 over 0 minus 4 times 0 plus 1. And this is 1/4. So we have a positive interval. And then we need to pick a number that is less than -1. So let's pick -2. So we have -1 plus 4 times -2 over -2 minus 4 times -2 plus 1. So this is -9 over 6, which is -3 over 2. So we have the negative interval. Let's look back at our inequality. We want it to be greater than or equal to 0. So that means we want the positive interval, not the negative interval. So our answer is parenthesis -1 up to 1/4 bracket union parenthesis 4 up to infinity parenthesis. Solve 2 over x plus 2 is less than or equal to -2x over x plus 2. So here we want 0 on one side, the rest to the other side. So let's add this fraction over. So we have 2 over x plus 2 plus 2x over x plus 2 is less than or equal to 0. We need common denominator, which we already have here, x plus 2. So the numerator we have 2 plus 2x, and it is less than or equal to 0. So we need to set the numerator equal to 0, set the denominator not equal to 0, and solve. So the first one, we need to minus the 2 over, and we have 2x is equal to -2. Divide out the 2. So x is -1. The second one, minus the 2 over. So x is -2. So on our number line, we have -2 and -1. If we look at our inequality here, this is less than or equal to 0. We cannot have -2. So it's an open circle. But at -1, we are allowed to have -1. And since this is less than or equal to 0, at -1, it is closed up. Let's test points. Pick a number that is bigger than -1. So let's pick 0. Plug it into our inequality. So we have 2 plus 2 times 0 over 0 plus 2. So this is 1. So we end up with a positive interval. Let's pick a number that is between -2 and -1. So let's pick -1.5. And we have 2 plus 2 times -1.5 over -1.5 plus 2. So this is giving us -2. So we have a negative interval. Pick a number that's less than -2. So let's pick -3. So we have 2 plus 2 times -3 over -3 plus 2. So this is -4 over -1, which is 4. So it is a positive interval. Our inequality is less than or equal to, so that means we want the negative interval, not the positive interval. So our answer here is parenthesis -2 up to -1 bracket.